Joint Deputy High Commissioner for Human Rights Nada Al-Nashif warned Sri Lanka that as long as an accountability deficit remains, the international community should include use of accepted principles of universal and extraterritorial jurisdictions to investigate and prosecute alleged perpetrators.
The economic crisis continues to have a severe impact on the rights and well-being of many Sri Lankans. Discussions with creditors are underway, and although this year the International Monetary Fund approved a financial support package, which is an important first step, it is crucial to ensure that the burden of potential reforms does not further compound inequalities. Robust safety nets and social protection measures are needed to shelter the most vulnerable from the negative spillovers of economic restructuring. It is also vital to address the underlying factors of the crisis, including corruption, which was a loud and essential demand of the protests that took place last year. Our office urges the government and political parties in Sri Lanka to use this opportunity for democratic renewal, for deeper institutional reforms, and to advance accountability and reconciliation, as well as the promotion and the protection of human rights. Sri Lanka has witnessed too many ad hoc commissions in the past that failed to ensure accountability. Accountability remains the fundamental gap in attempts to deal with the past, and as long as impunity prevails, Sri Lanka will achieve neither genuine reconciliation nor sustainable peace. Fundamentally, it is and remains the responsibility of the Sri Lankan authorities to directly acknowledge past violations and undertake credible investigations and prosecutions alongside other accountability measures. However, as long as this accountability deficit remains, the international community can and should play complementary roles. Means to do so include use of accepted principles of universal and extraterritorial jurisdiction to investigate and prosecute alleged perpetrators, and support to the relevant accountability processes in third states, as well as the fair application of targeted sanctions against credibly alleged perpetrators. The past months have unfortunately witnessed an old reflex of using draconian laws to curtail opposition and control civic space, with a heavy-handed approach to protests far too often, including the arrest of protest leaders and forceful crowd control measures, as well as the persistent use of the military in police functions. Recent arrests over statements made during comedy performances and of members of parliament engaged in protests exemplify this concern.
Sri Lanka responded to the comments made in the oral update.
Political stability has been restored while conditions on the ground have improved considerably for the people. Sri Lanka has categorically rejected the external evidence gathering mechanism established following resolutions 46/1 and 51/1, which will have wide-ranging legal and political implications. Notwithstanding its position and despite the severe constraints, Sri Lanka actively and constructively engaged with the regular human rights mechanisms. Let me conclude by reiterating Sri Lanka's continued cooperation and constructive engagement with this Council in keeping with our Constitution and our international obligations.